We are back, and we are back with our girl, Joan Borelli, who just witnessed the first show of opening night of the brand new leg, or this leg of the Got Back tour. And we're very excited to have her. She's here. She's going to tell us all the ins and outs. But first, Tom Hunyadi here. Andy Nichols, as always. Andy, my friend, we're going to talk. We're going to throughout this. We're going to talk a little bit about this buy me a coffee thing, but as more people show up, because it's a great way for people to help contribute to the show or help support the show. But tell us a little bit about this buy me a coffee
Well,
link
good.
that
Yeah,
people
well,
can.
here we are live again. We've been very busy on this channel as of late between live recaps and our in the field reporter, Joan Borelli, updating us. It's been
Yes.
incredible. But yeah, it's been a great busy time here in Paul Beetle world, and now the tour's kicked off again, and we just felt it was we wanted to try. We don't do our show for money, but it does cost us a little bit to do it, and we feel like we've been putting some good stuff out. So, okay, we're not asking, but if you are inclined to donate and support the show, you can go right to that link and help us out with whatever you feel is warranted to do this. Tom and I put a lot of time into it and plan it out, and try to give you content every week that is engaging and fresh, and we can talk live with our fans and friends. So it's there. Do not feel any pressure whatsoever, only if you want to. But that's what we're doing. And great. If you can support us even a little bit, great. If not, that's perfectly fine too. We're still going to be here either way every week,
Yes.
providing shows and content for you and going live. So now that we got that out of the way, let's count down to brass tacks. And she's with us,
Yes.
and she's hot on the
She's
heels
here.
from show number 1. Welcome to another live installment, Joan Borelli to Two Legs.
Thank you, my friends. It's always great to be here with you. I, of course, am thinking about both of you every time I go to the shows. I'm like, gosh, I wish my guys were here with me. I can rock it out
Yep,
live with the
Yeah.
band. But, in the future, I know we're going to do it.
we certainly
Yes.
are. And
We.
those of you that follow our social media, Joan rocked the brand down there in Uruguay yesterday by rocking Two Legs at the first show. I mean, who's
I
better
did.
than her? She
All for
rocked the
you.
white Two Legs shirt at the show, opening night, like down in front. Who's better than her? Thank you for doing that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
It's my
Yes.
pleasure. Best
And then,
podcast out there. So I got to represent.
thank you, hon. Thank you. And then you sent us the like a good minute
Oh,
of now and then. I put that on our X profile page. 30,000 hits. People watch. 30,000 people watch that. So yes.
Really?
So
30,000
Whoa.
people watched your
yes.
video. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my
That,
God.
yep. That
And
you
talk
sent
about like
us.
what
I
a
put it
great
on
a
X. Yep.
great view. I mean, first of all,
Yeah.
the fact that you were even able to take pictures and some video during the concert to share with us is like it's like mind-boggling. Thank you, because I don't know how you could contain yourself and keep a great shot. I mean, of
That's
that,
why,
the angle that you shot it at was perfect.
that's why the video was so short, because that was all I could. That's as long as I could hold my hand steady. But I
Before you
Well, we're
lost it.
gonna. Yeah,
Yeah.
have
we're
to
gonna
tell
get
you the
more into
story.
that. We're gonna. Yeah, well, we're gonna get more into your feelings on that song and the rest. But first of all, I mean that travel time. I mean, to get to Uruguay. I mean,
Yeah.
that's. I mean, was that a direct flight? Did you stop,
No.
or I mean, talk about
No.
that flight.
So I flew. My little airport is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I flew from there to Atlanta, and Atlanta to Buenos Aires, because it's very tough to get to Montevideo without many connections. And
Hmm.
when you're checking a bag with all your precious Paul tour T-shirts, honestly, I know I'm insane. This is what I think about. I need to have as few flights as possible to mitigate the risk of losing my bags and my
Right.
precious cargo. And by the way, it did happen to one of my friends who joined me on this tour. They lost his
Hmm.
bag. He did get it back, but he didn't get it back in time for the show.
Oh.
But anyway, he did get it. So all his precious cargo is there. So anyway, I decided to fly to Buenos Aires and take the ferry then from Buenos Aires to Montevideo, to
Okay.
only have one flight connection. But Honestly, we got word when I landed in Buenos Aires. I got word that Paul was rehearsing that night in Montevideo at the stadium at 6:30. One of our little spies happened to sit in a restaurant behind Paul's security team. It's so awful. We're so terrible. And they overheard the discussion that the rehearsal was going to be that night at 6:30, and my ferry was due in at 6:30. So, the plan begins to, I said, oh, I'm just going to go right from the ferry in a taxi and go right to the stadium.
Right.
And that's what we did.
And for people that don't realize where Uruguay is, I mean, this is south of Brazil. I mean, Brazil is massive, huge.
Yeah.
So this was, south of Brazil, long travel.
What was the flight time, Joan? What was the flight time from Atlanta to Buenos Aires?
The actual total flight time, well, from Atlanta to Buenos Aires is about 10 hours. So,
wow.
but you do connections, and my actual travel time, by the time I hit Montevideo, was 30 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was long. And you just don't care. You don't care because you know what the end result is going to be.
Right. You're running on adrenaline.
It's total adrenaline. And one of my friends was on the same flight as me. And I said, what should we do? Marianne, what are we going to do? She's like, stadium, baby, stadium, baby. So we hightailed off the ferry, jumped in a taxi and with our big bags. And we're just running down the streets of Montevideo, pushing our suitcases because we could hear the music starting.
Oh, you heard it.
Right.
Because I think you started literally messaging us because you had gotten off and you were on your way and you heard the sound check. You were outside the stadium and you heard it.
And you could hear it really well. And you could hear them working out the songs. And then it would go quiet a little bit. But you could hear it was Paul talking, but not exactly here. And then people on the other side of the stadium were texting and saying, you can see the screens from here. And I said, no, because we knew we were at the spot where we were pretty sure he was going to exit. So we had a really good position on the rail and we stayed and you could hear it so well. And it was,
I know. And then great. You're messaging us, right? You're messaging us. And I'm at work. I'm helping plate 130 plated dinner. We had a 4-course
oh my God.
big wine tasting that night.
Oh,
and you're sending all these texts. I'm going out of my mind. I'm trying to plate, 120 ossobucos, and here you are sending us, all the details. I'm going out of my mind. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
That's when you got to turn notifications off, and then you come out of work and you go, oh, look at all these great messages I just saw. That's how you know go crazy.
Right.
Just
the thing is because I knew I was working on Monday, right? So we had to switch the time for Talk More Talk's latest episode, because I had to work. But then as we're getting closer to 9 o'clock, you're telling all of these things, and we were like, well, maybe we should do something. But then obviously, I mean, you're tired, and we, but we was just like, okay, let's just wait until the next day after the show. You're a little more rested now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hearing that sound check had to have been, that first year. You're right off the boat. You're getting there. And you're going right to the stadium.
And for a hot minute, I thought you were in the sound check. And I said, no, I think she's just outside the stadium. And she's hearing this.
Yeah, it was all private. We were just standing out basically on the street. And here's the song, and, oh my God, Band on the Run. Oh my God, Jet. And you're just hearing them. And in 24 hours, you're going to be back in that stadium, like right there in front of it. It's really exciting. But then the moment, and I hear the chords, and I turned to my friend Matt and I said, now and then. And he's like, ah! and then we heard it and we just screamed. And everybody around us looked at us like, are you insane? We're like,
no, we're not.
I know. And then everything went silent and we listened. And then Paul stops everything because I guess it wasn't quite right. And then he did another round of Now and Then. And it was sublime. It was so beautiful. Even outside, we're outside. But
yeah, your first message to us was outside the stadium after 30 hours of traveling, direct to stadium. The band is rehearsing. Just heard Hard Day's Night, 20 Flight Rock, and Letting Go. got to you heard all this stuff. You heard he did Women and Wives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it was beautiful. But I mean, you know, every time he starts, it's still the same tour. You know, it's still Got Back.
Right.
You're always just like this, hoping, please, you know, let him add something new or change it up a little bit, do something new. I was hoping, but now and then wasn't in my thought process. I wasn't thinking
Really?
that would be what.
Okay.
No, I don't know why. I just didn't think that might enter the.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. And so when I heard it, I was like, of course, you know, it should have been now. It always should have been now and then.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, there was a couple of set lists floating out around there that we had thought maybe we would have heard Martha My Dear was rumored to be played. And we actually saw a set list that had Martha My Dear on there. Maybe that was an early
Hope
set
of
list that got.
Deliverance as well.
And Hope of Deliverance was
Deliverance
also on that set list.
Yeah.
Maybe that was scrapped, but we did see somebody
saw
snapped.
it too.
You saw that too, Joan, right?
Yeah, I saw it on Insta or on social somewhere.
Yeah.
But there were three
Right.
songs: Hope, Martha My Dear, and something
Uncle
else.
Uncle Albert.
Yes.
Uncle
But
Albert.
I didn't see that on a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
didn't.
it was very blurred. It was very blurred. I don't know how people just came to the conclusion that it was Uncle Albert. But anyways, okay. So you go back to hotel. What time do you go back the next day for the sound check then?
So the actual check-in on the instructions was 3:30, but you know, we're pros. And so we know to go early. We got there about 2, and we were, I think, second in line. Our group of, I think we have 5 people there. And it was well organized. You know, good signage and everything, and there were guards there telling us where to stand and where to go. And then our favorite security guy, Brian Riddle, came out and hi Brian, you know, and he said hi to everybody, and it's good to see you guys here again. And we probably what is the Slow Ticks, who got bought by Live Nation, you know, was doing the VIP, and our girl Annie came out, and lots of highs and hugs with her. And the check-in process begins. Everybody gets their VIP bracelet, and we're just sitting there chatting with all the local fans, and of course all the local fans see our Fans on the Run buttons. Oh, you're Fans on the Run, yeah. And that was fun. And then we go in. They had a nice, like a little reception tent and drinks and some snacks and appetizers and things. And I'd say we were probably there for about maybe 30 minutes or so. And they come and they say that Paul's on. You can hear the security 5 minutes out, so you know he's coming. And they just tell us we're going to go onto the floor, and that's what we did.
Right.
Going.
Okay, so before you continue, then, I mean, tell us about the stadium. Is it covered? Is it a dome? Is it open? Is it an open stadium?
Open. Yeah, this is an open stadium that's about 100 years old. So
wow.
Yeah, it was
Holy
not.
moly.
It was not the picture of modern convenience. Let's say it that way.
Right.
Not, but pretty. You know, it was pretty nice, open air. It was quite chilly. You can see I'm wearing a down vest. It was probably in the 40s. Windy. So it was chilly. Everybody was glad they were selling hoodies at the merch stand.
Sure.
I think they sold out of the hoodies very quickly. It was quite chilly. I mean, it's not like what you would expect, like MetLife or even Fenway.
Yeah.
So what was the capacity crowd? 100,000. How many people were there?
It wasn't 100,000 because I think that stadium maybe has around a 70,000 capacity, but that's for football.
Yeah.
Not
That's for football.
concert.
So you got you got to take under consideration the space they need for the stage.
Yes, tons of it was
like
blocked
that.
off.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say 40.
Oh, we lost her.
Uh-oh.
We lost her. Oh, she's back.
She's coming back.
You said 40 to 50,000. You think?
I that's a guess. but I think so. Just based on how much of the stadium was blocked off and the space that the stage took up, because it's his normal setup. The stage setup was slightly different. You know, where the piano is off to the right,
up elevated. Yeah.
It was closer to the center of the stage, so the interior setup of the stage was a little more compressed, not as
far spread out like it usually is. Yeah, because in a regular arena, it's so massive. The stage, you know, takes him like a half a minute to get from one side to the other when he's doing from the front up to the piano when he's not falling and slipping.
When he's not, yes, please,
please not fall. Joan, did they play that fired up soundtrack with the video screen with all the mashup of the McCartney music to hype you up and get you all excited? Did they play that?
Yes, they did. DJ Chris was there, and he got started, and he gave lots of waves and everything to everybody, and then they played that beautiful thing on the show, not on the sound check, but on the show,
just before the show starts. That doesn't fire you up, and you hear all that kind of mashup. What were some of the songs that were in the mashup that you heard before in the pre-show mix?
Oh, the things the ones I love are the weird ones. Although they took out Seaside Woman. He used to have that. But I Lie Around, Country Dreamer. It's a whole mix of Beatles and
Coming Up. I seem to remember Coming Up being is in there, right, for a little bit.
When you know you're getting close to showtime is Coming Up.
That's
when everybody's like on their feet and just like ready to roll. And that was there. We were discussing if they changed up the graphics a little bit on that and added some new things. We think they did.
Okay.
We were like, did they? I'm not sure, but I think so.
Right. So you got a nice little swag bag then, I'm sure, with the sound check.
What was the swag bag from Soundcheck? What we got? What do we got? Inquiring minds worldwide want to see.
This is cool. This is a towel, but I think I'm going to use it as a wall hanging. It's that.
Right.
Oh, it's the little walking off the pier picture shirt. I have. Yes.
Yeah, they did a T-shirt and a poster a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, I got the shirt. Yeah.
Yes, it's like a very light, but it does. I like it because it has the date on
Very
there.
nice. 2024. Yep.
Yeah. We got this. We got.
The big question, I knew that was coming from Julia.
We knew that was coming. So
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Hi, Julia.
Yeah.
Hi, Julia. We knew that was going to be a question, and we'll get to that as Joan continues to show us what she got.
Yeah. This magnet.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool because it's supposed to be like a ticket.
Yep.
Okay.
A Maca hat. It's pretty nice.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else was in the swag bag? Oh, here's the bag.
The actual bag they give you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And there was a poster, and I can grab it, but it's the Got Back.
Yeah. Any lanyard too, or no? A lanyard or no?
Oh, let me grab that lanyard real quick. 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. Owen wants Pretty Little Head. What ain't happening?
Yeah.
James Boyle crisis.
Oh, here it is.
Sorry.
Yeah. The lanyard's cool because it's a different shape than the other shows.
Okay.
Yeah. I always like when they do something a little different there. That's nice.
It's I just thought of this. It's been the Got Back tour now since the pandemic ended. Are we just gonna roll with Got Back as the tour from now until the end of time, or is it gonna change? What do you think?
My thought is he'll do US in 2025, and that will be the end of Got Back. I have a feeling he'll end it in the US.
Interesting. Because I'm just curious. We've been calling it Got Back for. He started in the U.S. in 2022 and ended in the U.S. in 2025. That would be, it's a 3 year.
3 years.
3 years is a long time.
Yeah, I would think. Don't you think? I think.
That, I mean, it's interesting too. I mean, his last gigs of shows was last December of 2023. So we're like 10 months since the latest leg of a tour, and here we are. So yeah, I mean, show starts at what, 8:30 your time?
Last night it started at 9, but unlike Paul, it started a little late. He started about 9:20 last night.
Ooh, that's not like him.
Not at all. He's always starting right on time. So
Well,
yeah,
first leg of the tour,
yeah,
jitters, I'm sure.
yeah. No, you know what was really cool? One of the things that we all noted was like at the start of the U.S. leg in Spokane was the first show. You could sort of see that a little bit of tentativeness and a little nervousness when the band played. They
Right.
weren't at ease in that first show in Spokane. In Australia, the first show, they were okay, but not super at ease. Last night, they were just like, let's do it, dudes. They were just totally relaxed. Even the sound check, they just came out happy. And Paul's, it's really, he's notorious for when he does these Spanish concerts in Spanish speaking countries. Sorry,
Mhm.
I've lost my voice, but in Spanish speaking countries, he's not as verbose. He doesn't interact as much with the crowd because of the language barrier, I guess.
Right.
Um, but he does his best to speak a little Spanish. And at the sound check, he was super energetic and smiling and doing all his little Paul things that he does, and really interactive with the crowd. And the show the same. They were super relaxed, and I don't know if it
Mm.
was just where I was sitting, right? But the sound was phenomenal. Like I think I heard things, I heard tones, I heard instruments, I heard background vocals that I don't recall hearing in other shows. It was so clear. And after the show, I went up to say hi and thanks to the sound guys,
Yep.
and said, Bob, this was a fantastic show. And Matt, who was Bob's guy there on site all the time, he said, did it really sound good? And I said, no, it sounded phenomenal. He said, yeah, we were just talking. We think this was one of the best shows we've ever done, sound
Ah,
wise.
cool.
And it was crisp.
Right.
It was super crisp. I mean, really sounded good.
Yeah, it didn't everything sounded pretty, balanced. Nothing sounded too out of tune or anything.
Exactly. It was balanced. That's a great word. It
Mm.
was, you could just you could hear everything. You could pick it all out. It was really exciting. And Paul's voice, I know he takes a lot of crap, and sometimes deservedly, sometimes not. But no, he sounded
Mostly not.
really good.
All
Really
right.
good.
Well, let's get with that. I mean, the scroll stops, the lights go out, right? Or I mean, talk
Yeah.
about, and then
Yep.
they just, you know,
I got to
they
tell you
walk
something
out.
super, super cool.
Yeah.
So I had a seat that was third row, right on the aisle, sort of on Brian's side. And the security was coming around telling everybody, you have to sit down, you have to sit down. And I said to the guy, no, I'm not sitting down. Sorry, I'm not sitting. I said, this is Paul McCartney. We don't sit for Paul McCartney. Like, you stand for Paul McCartney. And he's like, oh, he was so frustrated with me because I'm like, no, sorry. I'm sorry. Lo siento. No. No.
No inglés. No inglés. No inglés. Move on. Move on.
So there was probably a gap. I was right on the aisle, and there's maybe like a 3-foot gap between the first row of seats and the rail. And Brian Riddle came, his security, and said, come up to the rail. Come to the rail. You don't have to ask me twice.
Nope.
Okay. We just hightailed to the rail. We stood on the rail in the center the freaking entire show. Sorry.
The whole time you were there.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Wow.
That's awesome, Joan.
It
I'm glad
was-
you guys. So that just goes to show you, like, a venue might have certain rules, and then Paul's team comes in and says, "Yeah, sure, come on up, come close,
Right.
go ahead."
Yeah, they wanted everybody up there.
Of course they
having fun.
did. So
And- Yeah.
kind of good
and
for you guys.
Oh, it's not that third row is a bad seat. Obviously, I had a fantastic seat, but
Yeah.
if you get the chance to be on the rail, you don't give that up. You just go
No,
for it.
you
Right.
run
No.
and you run to that rail.
Oh yeah, and I don't give it up. Like, I take that, and that's mine.
For the next 3 hours. For the next 3 hours, you have locked into that spot. You're not moving. No bathroom breaks. No drink breaks. No nothing. You're there.
No way. I wouldn't give that up for my life. Like, you'd have to pry my cold, dead hands off that
Off the
rail.
damn rail. I don't blame you, girl.
We're right
Awesome.
there.
Right.
And surrounded by really energetic, cool people to, that's always fun when you get around people that are having fun too. And so that was super exciting to get that opportunity to be up front and that close. It was really like, and there's our guy, there's my hero, there's the hero of my life, and right in front of us. And
what was the color jacket? What was the jacket of the choice of the night? What color?
He's got his uniform on, the light blue shirt.
Yep.
And it was the dark, I think it was dark blue jacket and a black vest. And that's his fave look. He had his hair is a little trimmed, a little bit shorter than it was at the end of the last gig, and he just looked great. He looked happy and relaxed and eager to be there, and the band was all good spirits. They were joking around a lot, and you can see them when you're that close. You can see them like making eyes at each other and things. And
sure.
And there were some flubs on the lyrics, which often happens in the start.
Yeah, let's go into it. So he opens with the Hard Day's Night, which he has done before, right? He has opened shows with Hard Day's Night before.
Yep.
And then right into Junior's Farm, which you did send us a couple seconds of.
Yeah.
Yes,
you did.
Much. Thank you very much.
I know you guys
Letting
love
Go,
that
and
one.
then yes, and then Letting Go. Obviously, he's got his brass section now. For Letting Go, did they come in? Were they in the audience or were they on the stage?
They came right to the stage.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We love that the brass guys are back. Love that the brass guys are back.
They're great. They're so good.
Yeah.
And then into She's a Woman for the first time in how long, Joan?
Right.
Long time, right?
No, he played that on the Australian leg of the tour.
Last year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is one of my top 5 Beatles songs. So I'm so psyched. And his voice was so great in that song. I mean,
awesome.
So good. Yep.
Well, Joan, you are a woman that understands, so I can see.
Yes, I do.
Got to get you into my life. Obviously, the brass horns again. Voice was, I'm sure, in good form there.
Excellent. Oh, and they updated some of the the video that plays behind them.
Yes.
They've updated that from the last leg of the tour. They added some different graphics on the video for Got to Get You Into My Life, definitely for quite a few of the different
they did update some of them. Well, I can tell that definitely especially from the Now and Then video, because there's some clips we've never seen before. That were played during Now and Then. For sure. Come On to Me again is still in there. Rocker, Let Me Roll It, and then at this point does the jacket come off?
Yep. Yeah.
The jacket.
Usual,
the jacket.
And he shows the back of it.
Yep. Jacket's off. And then we go into Getting Better, which, how is Getting Better?
Good, great, yeah, really good.
Okay, and then up to now we go to the piano section. We go 1, 2, 3, 4 songs on piano, starting it off with Let 'Em In, into My Valentine, 1985, and then closing the piano portion with Maybe I'm Amazed.
You know what he needs to do in that section is he needs to throw like Heather in there so he can dedicate a song to all 3 of his wives.
No, he's got to put My Love in there first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he's got Maybe I'm Amazed. He's got My Valentine.
True. Yeah, that's
throw
true.
In Heather. What the hell?
Throw in Heather and just get the trifecta done. Get them all.
Better yet, throw in For No One. And shout out to Jane
give Jane a shot. Give Jane, or and throw that in. Well, he has, because he's played You Won't See Me, so he's got a little.
Yes, you're right.
So out of all the piano songs there, all right, I'm sure they were all great.
Yep.
Tell us about Maybe I'm Amazed. Just as it's been the last year or two, pretty much. He does it, same register, same key, struggles with it, but still sings his heart out, right?
Yep. I have to say, well, a couple things about that song. I think his first 2 lines were a little rough, but then all of a sudden he got it. He clicked it in, and it was really great after that. Mm-hmm. I just want to say shout out to Abe. For me on the live show, that's my favorite performance of his in the live show. If you just take time, it's hard to take your eyes off Paul. But if everybody out there take a minute to watch Abe in that performance, you're gonna be like awestruck. he's phenomenal on that song. And because it's a bit of a rocky love song, I guess.
Sure.
And it's so beautiful, and the lyrics are so, your heart. But if you could just peel your eyes away and just watch Abe, wow, he doesn't get the cred he deserves.
He doesn't, and you make a great point there, Joan, because as Paul has aged in the last 10 or 15 years, the strength of the backing vocals from an Abe have really, really made the show that much more successful, because somebody like Abe can really do all the harmonies and the really hard parts of all these songs that Paul really can't hit anymore. So you've got Abe, who's a fantastic drummer, but also can hit these.
He's a great singer.
He's a great singer and can hit these notes.
Yeah.
So that really, really does help the show. Without Abe's backing, we're probably not hearing some good reviews of these shows.
Right. He pulled it together. The first two lines, I was like, "Oh, come on, Paul, you can do it! Like, come on, baby, you can do it, baby!"
And he did, because he's the best.
Yeah, because he did. Yeah, and it was beautiful.
Love it. Now we go into the acoustic set of the show.
Acoustic set. Yes.
The acoustic set now. Is this now just Paul, right? No, the band kind of leaves. It's just Paul. You've got I've Just Seen a Face, In Spite of All the Danger, Love Me Do, Dance Tonight, Blackbird, and Here Today. Does the band play on any of those songs? Abe comes out a little bit, right, on like certain songs?
Or Dance Tonight. Dance Tonight. He's
for the just In Spite of All the Danger, Love Me Do,
and
Dance Tonight. The whole band is out there
for those songs, right?
Yeah, Wix comes with an accordion, and we got acoustic guitars and Abe on a small drum setup thing.
Right. And then really he's just by himself then for Blackbird and Here Today. On with the elevating platform go up for that too again, Joan, like usual.
That is, they changed the graphic on that too. There's the birds are still there, but they changed the graphic on the Here Today. So that was
they never do pictures of John during Here Today, right? They never do.
No.
Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
But
I'm sure
then the granddaddy.
Now the granddaddy, and we get to Now and Then, which Tom and I were messaging for days when we heard that, when you told us that it was performed. Tom's like, it's going to be the encore. And I'm like, well, where'd you hear this from?
Right.
But it ends up being song 19 in the set.
Yeah.
Tell us, what is the reaction? Yeah. What's your reaction? What's everybody's faces doing when they play that song? And did he introduce it? Did he talk about it or anything?
Did they just went into it?
He just went into it. The magic,
wow.
the magic piano with the magical mystery tour.
The magical mystery tour piano, yeah.
Yes.
They had a different cover on the front of it. Looks like a gray and white.
I saw that from your picture, from your video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So sort of somber, right? But it really looked beautiful with the video in the back, because they started it with the black and white celluloids of the early pictures of the Beatles. So you're like, oh, what is this? He brings the piano out, and you just see like these, I guess that's what it's called, celluloids of the different Beatles in like 1964 time period. Mm-hmm. And then he just starts the opening chords, and you just hear like a gasp throughout the entire, like, I don't know how 40,000 people have a quiet gasp and a couple screams. And I already knew that it was going to be that, because I, figured
you heard right
hearing at rehearsal. And then when I saw those pictures in the back, and then he just starts, and everybody just starts crying. I mean, we're just all like, oh my God, leaning on each other. And,
right.
Oh my God.
The big question is whether or not that he's going to have John sing. He's going to be singing with John on that. But instead, it's just him doing all the vocals, right?
Him in the band, and I got to tell you, it was beautiful. Like, it was, like your heart exploded and crushed at the same time. It was so beautiful,
and
he sounds flawless. It sounded like the recording.
It really did. And I must say, when I watched the couple of YouTube videos dropped of that performance today, and I must say there are moments during that performance when the back screen video is cuts to the real video, and Paul is singing in time with himself as in the video. So
Yeah.
he's exactly on point singing live
Yes.
to you to the same exact point in the video, which is pretty damn awesome. Like the, with you, all that stuff. It's
Yes.
he's singing in time with
Yes.
himself.
Yeah, guys,
So
it's perfection, guys. I mean, it's perfection. It
yeah.
was
Oh,
it was a lifetime wow moment. Like, I've seen a lot of tours. I've seen a lot of shows. My jaw dropped down. Like it was.
I couldn't imagine.
My heart. Oh my God, my heart can't take this.
Yeah.
And Rusty played that solo that Paul does. Played it awesomely, beautifully.
Beautiful.
And that was it. And there was no big speech or nothing, right? And how about after
Nothing.
the song? Nothing after the song either.
Nothing. Wow. Nothing. It was beautiful. It just like, okay, I'm just gonna play this now.
So big reaction once the song was over.
Yeah. Screams and cheers and I was looking around, making sure I wasn't the only sappy soul there, wiping my tears, and I wasn't alone at all. There was
nobody needing CPR. Right. Clear.
No.
Which they might have to do for me, but we'll worry about that in December.
I got you. Don't worry.
Thank you, Joan.
Defibrillator.
Yes. Yeah. So after that, then we get.
How do you come back from that?
How do you come back? That's why you figured that's got to be an encore song. It's just
yes.
But I mean, who knows?
So.
Maybe he changes it. Maybe he changes it later. But I'm really happy that New is still in the set list.
Yes.
I think he's put out a lot of great music the last 20 since this century's begun, and I'm really glad to see New still in there.
Me too. I love that song, and it was actually sort of a funny transition because that song is so joyous, and we're like, ooh, now and then da 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 da.
That's the let's get everybody kind of work back up again. Like before now and then, I think sometimes after Here Today, he would play New and say, okay, no more tears. We got to be, let's get back on point here and have a happy time, and New does that. And as I told Tom and David, it's nice that it's still, here's the song that's 11 years old now, still in the set list. And sometimes you get Queenie Eye. I know Queenie Eye is a Soundcheck song, but he still gives a couple songs from New love, which I think is fantastic.
New is great. I love the song. Oh, they came and took the Now and Then front off the piano. And so then when he played New, it had the rainbow again.
It went back to the Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah, setting the tone and then everybody just started, bopping around to New, and it was really cool and everybody got back in the groove again.
Right. In the groove again after that, and then to Lady Madonna, which kind of get everybody in the dancing around again. Yeah. And then go back to the bass and Jet, and of course I'm sure Jet went down like a house of fire, right?
Yeah, I just don't like that one at all. And that's like a total jam. Everybody just dancing and Jet,
And I like since he worked this back in, he drops it later in the set. A couple of years ago, it was earlier in the set. Now it's much later in the set.
That's true. Good point.
Yes.
Good point.
Yeah.
So you get a little wings inflection of a real good rocker later in the show, as opposed to front loading the wings. Junior Swan letting go Jet early in the show. You save Jet, save Jet for the end, which he does now, which I think works really, really well.
Yeah. I always get the sense that he enjoys performing that song, even though he's performed it so hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Watching his face, I always get the sense he enjoys singing Jet.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Well, I think he knows it's a crowd pleaser. I think he can see. I would hope that he can see that people really get into that song. And we've all heard that song a million times, but it's one of those songs that I don't care. I'll listen to it over and over again, and I'm glad he's playing it.
Me too.
Yeah. So Jet, awesome. Into Mr. Kite, which are probably people are like, really, Mr. Kite still? But exactly. And then into something, with the full, the uke into the full band version, which I don't get tired of that. Some people are like, well, what are you playing George songs for? You didn't get tired of something, right?
Yeah, that's a concert fave of mine. I love the arrangement of that song. I think it's the transition from the uke to the full band is beautiful. The video montage of George in the background is really touching. There's a couple shots on there where your heart just melts. I think it's the arrangement for me. I think it's perfection. I love it. That's one of my favorites of the whole night. It has been since the first time I heard it. I think it's great.
Once he adopted the Concert for George version, then it became a home run. Early on in 2002-3, he just did it on the uke, and it was sweet.
Right.
It was sweet on the uke, but then once he took on the Concert for George version to do with the uke, then into the full band version, it became this thing that it's a stalwart, but damn, it's so good every time.
It's so good. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never get tired of that one.
Then a little levity with Obla Di Obla Da to get people singing and clapping again in their seats. And then now we're getting into the end of the show proper. Band on the Run, Get Back, Let It Be, Live and Let Die, and Hey Jude.
Hey Jude.
How are the how out of all those, anything stand out with those stalwarts? Fireworks for Live and Let Die? Anybody's hair go on fire?
No fires. It was pretty impressive. The lasers right behind the stadium is a big spire, a big tower.
Yep.
And the lasers were hitting off of that. So if you turned around and looked behind you, it looked pretty cool. Like the lasers were all bouncing off this tower behind the stadium. So that was pretty cool looking. It had the usual explosions at the usual places, and it was good. That's always fun.
So, and then did he do during Hey Jude? Did he say just the men and just the ladies in Spanish? Muchachos, muchachas. Did he do that?
He did that. Yeah, he did. Yes. Yeah. Mujeres y hombres.
Yeah, for the Hey Jude bit, of course. So they leave, come back, flags waving, the whole nine. The flags come out, comes out doing the flag thing. And the encore, which we were talking during the week, once we knew Now and Then would be in, would he keep Now and Then and also do the I've Got a Feeling duet with Joan? And he kept it in, and that kicks off the encore. How was that?
Right.
Awesome. That's another one.
Right.
I mean, his voice sounded so good. Like, you just, that's a personal fave song of mine too. I love that song. And you're just ready to listen, and he sounded spot on. And and it's the first time that they've seen in Uruguay that they've seen this rendition of the song.
Right.
So lots of screams.
Yeah.
Did you feel like his voice was getting better as the show was going along, or do you feel like he was still a little wobbly in bits and places throughout the show?
No, I don't think he was wobbly at all. I think he seemed to come in really good form. I guess, resting and having had that break. Even in the sound check, his voice was in great form. No, I think he really carried the show really well.
And Birthday.
It's been 10 months since Australia?
Well, yeah.
So?
Yep. The Australia gigs were last year. And that's when we had you on, right?
Well, 11
I think
months
it was
or something.
11 months.
Yeah.
11 months. I think it was October that I.
Okay.
Just about a year ago. I remember we had you on.
Yeah.
We had you on.
It's about a year. So a year break then.
Yeah.
Yep. But that song, I mean, the tour went until December of 2023. So it went, it went on just about Christmas time, and he stopped.
Because he did Brazil afterwards. And
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So Birthday is an encore. I'm trying to remember. Has Birthday been a regular encore?
Yes.
It has.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. The reprise. So just now he goes into the reprise of Pepper. Yeah. How does that work into? Is just the reprise and then into Helter Skelter? Is that how he links those two together?
Yeah, he goes right in from one right into the other. No break, no talk in between. It's cool. It's a cool transition.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, remember back years ago when he first came back touring, he ended the show with the reprise into the end. Remember back? I don't know if you saw those toes.
Right.
He would just do the reprise and then just do into the end. And now that's been 20 years since he's done that. So you get the reprise into Helter Skelter. No Hi here is an encore, which I know was in there, in years past.
Yeah.
And then from Helter Skelter, and then we close it out with the medley. And I'm sure that was a fantastic way to close the show, as always.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to beat that song to close any show. It's, it's iconic. It's beautiful. It's a jam. It's got everything. It's got everything in one song. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody made a point to Serge, says there's 24 Beatles songs. There's 37 songs in the show, okay, and 24 of them were Beatles songs. That's about what you think it's going to be. I mean, that's going to be, what it is. Okay, so a couple of changes, a couple of curveballs, especially with
Well,
now
yeah,
and
I
then.
mean, he takes out, I mean, he's taken out "For You," looks like,
Thank
which I
God.
am kind of sad about. I am kind of sad about that. He took out the she came in through the bathroom window. You never give me your money thing, which really didn't work. I love both of those songs, but I just don't think connecting those two really worked as well as maybe they thought it did.
I'm glad you said that. I
But
agree
those
with
are
you.
gone. You
Yeah, You
know.
Never Give Me
Um,
Your Money is my favorite Beatles song, but I didn't like the
yeah.
transition between the two songs. I didn't think it was smooth in the live set.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Right.
So that was
But all in
show
all, I mean,
show number one
go
of
ahead.
how many, Joan? How many are we going to? It was
on
Right.
13.
13. So next up is
Tomorrow.
on the 5th. He's got 2 shows in Buenos Aires on the 5th and the 6th, and you'll be at both of those, right?
Yep.
Wow,
Yep. Be at both
Wow.
of those.
unbelievable. So you're going to all these gigs or no?
No, I'm gonna come home after Buenos Aires, and then I'll go back and do Bogota and San Jose.
Right.
Bogota, Colombia, and San Jose.
The 1st of November and the 5th of November, right? And then and then you go back again, and then after that,
I'll come home, and then I'll go to Paris on December 2nd.
beautiful.
Wow.
And I'm gonna do all of Europe.
You're going to do the 2 Paris shows, the 2 Madrid shows, the 2 in Manchester, and the 2 in London to close it out.
Right.
Merry Christmas and
Why not?
Happy New Year.
Because why not?
Because why not? God bless you.
Life is short by the tickets.
That's right, baby.
Exactly.
That's right, baby. Wow. Unbelievable. So the first leg of the Got Back Tour of 2024 is in Uruguay. And Joan saw it, and you just heard it there, folks. She's going to 13 shows this leg. So she's going to know it pretty damn well inside and out. From the caterers to the security people to the damn person who cleans the place, she'll know them.
Andy, one more time, mention the Buy Me the Coffee link.
Yes. So we
talk about
just
that one more
subscribed. We just signed up with buymeacoffee.com, which if you're watching and you are so inclined to help support our show and what we do, please do. There is no pressure not to. We're not going anywhere. It just kind of helps us along the way, because this costs us to do this show and to host our show and keep it on servers and get it out there. We tried doing the YouTube thing, but it just didn't work out. But this is pretty easy, and you just go to that link, and we'll post it on our social media pages as well too. If you'd like to support the show, please do. If you don't want to, that's fine too. We're still going to be here either way, delivering our content every week and going live on our own and delivering shows. So we're not changing anything, but if you're so inclined, check that link out and support our show. And thank you for those that do.
Yep. And Joan, it's great. Keep on having a great time. Let us know if there are any changes in the next set list. And look forward to hearing and seeing you having a great time.
Yes.
I'll send you some updates from Buenos Aires.
Yes, we have the field. We have our chat with
Sounds
Joan. It's
good.
called the Field Report. She's our reporter in the field, like they
Right.
did back in the day. She's our correspondent for all things Maca. Joan Borelli, #1 fan on the run, and looking forward to your updates. And thank you so much for being here today, Joan.
I'm honored, you guys. Love
Right.
you guys.
All right,
Love you too.
that'll
man.
do it. Thank you, Joan. For Tom, I'm Andy, and look for us soon for the next episode of Two Legs that we're recording with Owen Ling soon. So that'll be a show dropping on our channel in about a week's time. We're going to have that Paul and George Part 3. We're recording with him tomorrow, so that'll be up in about a week's time, and I'll be live at some point over the weekend as well too, and we'll see what changes are in the air. Maybe we'll get Hope of Deliverance in Buenos Aires. Joan,
God, I hope so.
maybe we will. So, hey, everybody out there, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Be good, everybody, and take care. We'll see you soon. Have a good one.
Peace out.